Uncovering the secrets and exposing the lies. That's what readers of freedomsphoenix.com get every day. Readers of freedomsphoenix.com are constantly provided the information that detail the real news between the lines of propaganda about government policies and the true relationship we all have with coercive governments. Learn the true condition of our economy, innovations and technological breakthroughs in energy, health, computer science, and space travel. Learn the truth well before it's admitted to in the lamestream media, the media that is so last century. Corporate media has evolved into nothing more than distributors of government propaganda, but we now have a fantastic alternative. FreedomsPhoenix.com provides constant news updates on the issues that affect our lives in the most important ways. Our liberty and our property are under constant attack, and FreedomsPhoenix.com provides the understanding behind the propaganda while encouraging the participation of our readers. Join us at FreedomsPhoenix.com. That's freedoms with an S, Phoenix.com. FreedomsPhoenix.com, where the revolution between the ears has already matured.
Freedom's the answer. What's the question? You're listening to Ernest Hancock.
Yeah, what are we fighting for? Well, we fed your meter so you didn't feed the state. Some minutes of free parking from walletvoting.com. Now, you guys go to the top of freedomsphoenix.com right now and you'll see it. And here's the other one. This goes to the gun shows right here. Let me see if I can get this in there for you guys to see it. What it has is an invitation for them to learn about silver and so on. Now, on the back of it, let me put that up there. You go and you can get the printout of this on the site, and it shows what the conversion is for various different older coins that used to be 90% silver. And a lot of this is a philosophy that you get from Larken. He's kind of come to this on his own, too. And there's a whole community out here. And, in fact, where Larken and I actually got to meet in person, we were in New Hampshire at PorkFest. And you had hundreds of people out there in a big camping area near the border of Canada. And they were trading everything in silver. Everything was valued in silver also. I mean, I guess some people were using some dollars, but there's all kinds of silver just going on everywhere. Now, I want to get that out of the way. I wanted to read part of Larken's article, and he did make a disclaimer in the beginning, and I'll go ahead and read that. And it said, let me start with a disclaimer. I say what I mean. If what I actually say offends you, and for a lot of people it will, then you probably need offending. But don't bother being offended at things I didn't say, but which you imagine I meant. If I meant it, I would have said it. Larken Rhodes, you can't get, clearer than that. Now, the one thing that really probably hit a lot of people was that we're talking about the death of Ms. Gifford. Her being shot. Ms. Gifford was, her being shot was not a huge national tragedy, any more than the hundreds of other murders that happened the same day. Mrs. Gifford was not a great public servant. In fact, she was not a public servant at all. She was not serving you or me or anyone else. Other than the elite ruling class, she did not represent the people. She was a member of the parasitic American ruling class. She was not working for the people. What she did, along with her fellow political parasites, was use the threat of violence to subjugate, control, and extort the general public. Like every other member of Congress, she produced nothing of value, neither product nor service. As a legislator, her entire job consisted of coming up with new ways to use coercion of law to forcibly control you and me, and use the products of our efforts to serve the agenda of the parasitic class. Did she mean well? How should I know? And frankly, I don't particularly care. As far as I can tell, Hitler meant well, and so did many of the thugs who carried out his megalomaniacal ideas. Did that make him good? Did that make it a national tragedy when he died? No. The tragedy was that a human being could ever imagine that forcibly subjugating the human race is the way to make a better society. Whatever her intentions, it was a bigger tragedy that Mrs. Gifford ever became a member of the professional criminal class than it was that she was shot. If I ever suddenly decide to embrace the love of dominion and seek to use brute force to dominate and subjugate innocent people, I hope someone does me the favor of shooting me. Well, Larken, do we have to worry about you running for office or becoming a legislator?
I highly doubt it.
Wow. I mean, these are strong words, but it really put it, and I encourage you to go read the rest of the article, and it's The Giffords Shooting Unpleasant Truth is the title of the article. And it's on the front page of Freedom's Phoenix towards the bottom where the articles are. And I encourage you to read it because it just makes it very clear what this really is about. Can you summarize it for us in your own words for me?
Basically, there is one error that when I started writing it, the media was still reporting that Ms. Giffords was dead, and turns out she wasn't. So that article still talks as if she was, at least for the first half. But the general gist is people not only view those in government as royalty, and they talk about them as our representatives and doing work for us, and they've been trained to see it that way, but that is not at all even close to what literally happens. What the people in government do is make up threats, and they call them legislation, and they have these big rituals, and they wear nice clothes and use big words to describe their threats of violence against you and me. And we're not supposed to notice that it's violence. Of course, everybody knows that if you break their so-called laws, they do nasty things to you. And men with guns come and do nasty things to you. I've seen that firsthand. For anyone who doesn't think that really happens, try it out. See what happens. And the view that, we lost this great champion of the people. You can't be a champion of the people if your job consists of extorting and bossing the people around. And that's what politicians do. It's all they do. That is their job description, to forcibly control the rest of us. And the notion that they do that for our benefit is insane. The notion that they're our servants. Like if you're, to put it in the most simple terms, if someone bosses you around and takes your money, he's not your servant. If he doesn't boss you around and take your money, he's not government. You can't be both. They're opposites.
Well, let's go ahead and talk about your next book. I would imagine it follows this theme, The Most Dangerous Superstition. What is the most dangerous superstition?
Basically the belief in authority, which includes all belief in government. And by that, I mean the belief that any ritual, any election, any constitution, any document, anything that people can do can actually give to a group of people the right to rule others. And that, even though we're taught that, government is what makes us civilized and laws are what make us be humans instead of these vicious animals. People talk about law and order as if that's what we should be going for. And they're taught that basically universal subservience to this ruling class is what makes humanity. And it's the exact diametrical opposite of the truth. That what we're doing when we believe in authority is saying the rules of morality, of right and wrong, they don't apply to those people over there. I'm not allowed to steal. You're not allowed to steal. Your listeners aren't allowed to steal. But the people in government, we did these weird rituals, and they somehow acquired the right to steal. I'm not allowed to tell you what you can smoke and drag you out of your house at gunpoint if you disobey me. What you can smoke, what you can eat, where you can work, any of the 8 zillion choices that quote-unquote laws affect. I don't have the right to forcibly control your behavior like that. You don't have the right to control mine, but everybody, or nearly everybody in the country, has been thoroughly indoctrinated to actually accept the notion that there are human beings who, because of certain pseudo-religious political rituals, have acquired the right to do something which would be completely evil if I did it, or if you did it, or if one of your listeners did it.
Well, your book, is it a novel? Is it fiction? Is it just your mind? I mean, what are we going to get when we read The Most Dangerous Superstition?
This one's not a novel. This one is basically anti-political philosophy. It shows why authority in government is a superstition. It's not a rational construct. It's not just a way to organize. It's not just sort of a means of getting along and making things run smoothly. It's actually a faith-based superstition that has no rationality underlying it and is actually provably bogus.
Well,
you can logically prove.
If you get someone to pull a sword Excalibur out of a rock and a pope to bless them and somebody to vote for him or whatever, well, then can we make them, rule everybody? I mean, I know where you're going with this, and I understand it, and I'm interested when we come back in the next hour how this philosophy has been embraced and is growing, and where will it go? I'm getting ready, man. I'm getting mobile. A year from now, I don't know where I'm going to be, but I'm going to be ready to be there, wherever it is, because I think it's going to start getting really bad. We'll talk about Larken, where he's staying, where he's at, who he's doing it with, what his plans for the future are, and how he sees this devolving. And can we hurry up and get to a police state so we can leave? I think we're there. Can we leave yet? Well, hopefully we can. We'll be right back here on Declare Your Independence with Larken Rose in just a little bit. This is Ernest Hancock. I'm publisher of freedomsphoenix.com and the radio talk show host of Declare Your Independence. Now, I want to give you my personal endorsement of a wealthy U.S. citizen that is predicting that in 2011, we will witness the most important day in America in more than 50 years. He's produced a video for you. It's a real eye-opener, and I want to make sure that you have an opportunity to watch it. www.endofamerica, the numbers 1 and 7.com. endofamerica17.com. This video has the history of how we got where we are now and where we're going and why. Now, it's a lengthy video. It'll be about 20 minutes, but you need to watch this so you understand what's going to happen to this country and how you can protect your wealth and even benefit financially. Now, you go there. It's free. I want you to watch this video. You need to have this information so that you can survive the economic collapse that's coming to America. It's not if, it's when. That's End of America, the numbers 1 and 7.com. After you watch it, you'll understand why I endorse it.